Oh man, how did Marissa end up here? She must have had too much to drink last night. Hello. This is part 13 of MegaMari and stage 5 of Patchouli Knowledge's castle, where the ground looks like a candy bar and there's no door or entrance to the right, so you must drop down and proceed to fight the Prison River Sisters for the final time. How far we have come. They're still as easy as ever. The ones down here, in this little part, can be a bit of a nuisance, mainly because of their positioning. However, as long as you're not terribly unlucky, then they're still easy as ever, so. You can actually go up close to them and hit through their shields, is something I've found, which is pretty convenient. As long as you have good timing, then you probably will still get hit, because they're pretty difficult to, or it's pretty difficult to pull that off. Here, we have two Chinas fighting side by side. What is wrong with humanity, where this can even be an existing thing? China herself is difficult, but putting two Chinas in one room is just downright diabolical. Anyway, you may notice that this ladder leads to nothing. Okay, never mind. I'm trying to save that ambiance for later, so excuse me. So, this entrance has a ladder that leads to one of those composition-breaking teleporters, and much like the one in the third, or the Marissa-only stage, it brings us to a similar-looking area. However, the music stays, and it is a drop-down into 8 teleporters. That's right. This is the boss rush room, which is very inconvenient, because if you've been following my MegaMari video series, then you will know that at the end of most of these bosses, I have had a sliver of health and have normally been cheering out of happiness. So, fighting all of them at once is going to be a lot of fun. However, the one crucial mistake I made when fighting the 8 bosses is not using any of the weapons. I don't know what went through my head when I decided to do that, but it was definitely not the best of decisions. However, now I have every single weapon, so I can basically use them at my leisure, which I definitely will. So, first up is Reimu Hakure, who is weak to Yuyuko Saigyoji's weapon, in my case the Reincarnation Ghost. It still can be a little difficult because the yin-yangs actually deflect the ghosts, which is a little inconvenient, so just keep on spamming it until she dies. Thankfully, every time you beat one of the bosses, you get a big mushroom, which is probably like one of the most convenient things that could have ever happened. So, next up, we have Yuyuko Saigyoji, who is weak to Eren Yogokoro's weapon, in my case, the Force Crisis. It can still be somewhat difficult to aim because it appears behind you. However, it does do such a big amount of damage that it's really not that difficult to kill her with. Just have good aim, have good timing. It still can be pretty difficult, actually, but anyway, that's enough of that. Next up is Reisen Udongen Inaba, who is weak to Yomu's weapon, in my case, the Rolling Slash. This can be a little inconvenient because you have to go right up close to her, which can be a little nerve-wracking if she uses the bullets. However, just time it well and she's pretty easy. Notice how once you actually have the weapons, you go through these bosses like they're nothing. Like, I'm already done with half of them. Next up is Eren Yogokoro, who is weak to Cerno's weapon. In my case, the, I don't know what it's called, white flower rose crystal thing. It's actually fairly easy to rack up hits on her because of, well, what just happened there, pretty much. Once you hold it out in front of you, it keeps on staying there, and once it goes to its second stage of being alive, then it can actually rack up hits on Eren Yogokoro, which can finish her off very fast, especially when it gets to the final stage. Anyway, that's enough of that. Kind of interesting how the hardest boss in the game goes down to the weakest boss in the game. Anyway, next up is Yomu Konpaku, who is weak to the 1,000 Knives. Or, you know, if you have Alice's version of Sakuya's weapon, which can I ask why, but anyway. It is unfortunate that it actually does not kill her with all 4 uses of it. So you are going to have to actually fight Yomu Konpaku yourself, which is not fun, not advised. This is not how I would recommend fighting her, but oh well. Actually, the best strategy I would recommend is staying from afar and then using the weapon that Alice has, the laser. Like that, she goes down pretty easily. However, Yomu Konpaku is still probably one of the hardest bosses in this game, just because her weakness does not kill her when you use all of it, which can be very inconvenient. Anyway, next up is Remelia Scarlet, who is weak to Reimu Hakurei's weapon. In my case, the Homing Amulet. This actually does make Remelia Scarlet's fight a good deal easier, although it's not guaranteed to hit, and she can still do a lot of damage to you. It does do a very respectable amount of damage, and oh god, this isn't good. Hi! You get out of my face, yo. Okay, thank you. Oh, now you're going in the bat, okay. So, yeah, this is how it's gonna go, I see. Oh, fuck, okay. As you can see, I have not been practicing these as much because I have the weapons, but it appears that I'm going down now. So, yeah. Thankfully, what's convenient is that if you die, you don't have to do all the bosses over again. So, hooray for that. So, yeah, let's try and do this, but not suck horribly at it. Perhaps that can be of convenience for me. Even with the homing amulet, this requires a ton of concentration. Die, please. Thank you. Okay. Oh, okay. Alright. 6 down, 8 to go. And now all we have to use is Marissa's weapon. Next up is Sakuya Izuyoi, who is weak to Remelia Scarlet's weapon. In my case, the red magic. Although it can be a little difficult because you can only have one on screen at a time, she does take a lot of damage to it, and normally it will hit her twice, so not too difficult, fortunately. Now all we have left is one more boss. Cerno, who is weak to Reisen Udongen Inaba's weapon, in my case the Psycho Missile. As if Cerno was already easy, the Psycho Missile just makes her pathetic, to be honest. Like, yeah, that certainly didn't last long. Anyway, now that all the bosses have been beat, the music changes to a very nice, hyping rock tune, and a hole opens up in the wall. I would recommend getting out Marissa for this. So, an elevator lifts you up, and brings you all the way up here, where you'll find another composition-breaking teleporter. This one's just floating in the air, like a chandelier or something. Anyway, you'll find 2 health meter thingies here. Now, what I would recommend is filling up the following weapons: the Psycho Missile and the Force Crisis, because you will want to fill these weapons up, believe me. However, for now, feel free to just use Marissa's shot, because now we are fighting Patchouli Knowledge, who is, according to the Toho Wiki, only weak to Marissa's shot. So, yeah, there you go. She is definitely one of the hardest bosses, if not the hardest boss in the game, with a plethora of attacks that seem to reference some of her attacks from Toho 6. This Rave light show can be one of the hardest ones to dodge, as well as this one, which resembles, I would say, Yu Yuko's freaking flowers. Not fun, especially since she doesn't have a health bar, so you don't really know when she's down, except for when that happens. Yeah, you'll know when she's down when she jumps into her spaceship and flies away, as you probably should, and now I would recommend getting out the Force Crisis. Not the Force Crisis, this is the Psycho Missile. I would recommend getting out the Psycho Missile, because here, Patchouli is not done quite yet. Now we have to fight a giant ship. Now, it is weak to the Psycho Missile, however, I would recommend having Alice take a lot of damage here, just because you need Marissa to be at a good standing for when you actually use a Psycho Missile. Dodging can be quite a nuisance here. However, not too difficult, I suppose. Anyway, she has a second phase. I know, right? Just what we all wanted in life. Oh, man. It is weak to the Force Crisis. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Okay. Okay. Come on. Come on, just die. Woo! Yeah! We did it! We beat the game! Woo! Or did we? Well, we get the teleporting off, but no fanfare, because we are not quite done yet. In typical Mega Man fashion, it doesn't end when it says it will end. There is one slight more room. And we have to fill up our weapons again. I would recommend filling up the red magic, because yeah, you'll need it, trust me. Now, this is a very short room, or a very short level, as I'm sure you would hope, with only one enemy before the final boss, Koakuma. It's very fitting to have Koakuma be a mini-boss in the very last room, if you know Toho continuity and whatnot. Anyway, I would recommend getting out either the homing amulet or the Force Crisis. I personally like the Force Crisis a bit better, actually, just because it finishes off Patchouli's spaceship a little faster. Also, I really like how the title theme is the music here. It's a nice touch. Anyway, this is one of the hardest bosses in the game, as you might expect, with lots of fat lasers, and yeah, it's just very difficult to dodge in general. Don't be fooled by the hitboxes on these, though. They're actually quite more forgiving than you might think, like most of everything in this game. Oh my god, close quarters. Die, die, die! Woo! We beat Patchouli Knowledge! Yes! Or have we? Yeah, it's still not over. Right here, I would recommend getting out the red magic, because we are not quite done yet. Quick, get up to the second platform and scoot to the edge, because we are yet to face Mecha Patchouli. Yes, this actually exists, and it's pretty much one of the best things ever. However, she has a very unfortunate allergy to the red magic. And really, most of her attacks can be dodged very easily, except for this one. Time your timing perfectly, and then die, because that will actually do 75% of your health if you do not dodge it. GLHF. Yeah, it's very not fun. And right here, I'm pretty much just going to kill myself purposely, because without these weapons, I'm doomed. So, go ahead and kill me, Koakuma. Thankfully, when you get a game over, you actually don't go back to the boss rush, you go back to the Mecha Patchouli stage. So, that's what our strategy is going to be right now. What's actually really annoying is that the Patchouli ship, that until this level, if you get a game over, will send you back to the boss rush. So if you get a game over on the second stage of the Patchouli ship, you're gonna have to do all of that boss rush again. So you're really gonna want to practice that. I did a ton of practicing last night, just as a necessary precaution. Anyway, get out your red magic once again, or not red magic, your friggin' Force Crisis, and prepare to fight Patchouli Knowledge. Let us speed this up, because I have an appointment at 3, except I don't, and it's also 3 right now, so... Or at least where I live. I don't know, Pacific Standard Time. Pacific Standard Time? Am I retarded? What the hell? Anyway, yeah, let's just get this over with, because, yeah. Oh god, die, thank you, oh yay. Okay, take a sip of my coffee. And by sip I mean giant gulp, I suppose. And now we are back, Mecha Patchouli. Your shenanigans cannot beat my red magic shenanigans. GLHF. This hand attack can actually be really difficult to dodge if you're in bad placing. The blue bomb thing, though, is actually one of the easiest ones to dodge. Come on, timing! Yay, timing! I did a timing. Die, die, die. Oh my god! Now I'm not joking here. We did it. We just did it. Patchouli knowledge is down. We've done it. My very first ever Let's Play, and we are all clear. With Marissa having her books, or more like stealing Patchouli knowledges, and while the credits roll, I'm just going to say thank you all very much for sticking through my first Let's Play. It's been quite a ride, and I definitely, I definitely bit off more than I can chew by choosing definitely one of the hardest games that I've ever played, really. So, yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next Magic. Right, so, as mentioned, what will I be doing after this? That, I have already planned, very much so. I've already planned what I'm going to be doing, and it will be pretty interesting, I hope. So, first things first, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past Blind Run will be coming back. The only reason it was abandoned, or as I would more prefer to call it, temporarily delayed, was because of this game, actually, MegaMari. Mainly because I actually had to practice at it, because it was so difficult. And with things like A Link to the Past and what I have planned next, I really don't need to practice at it. Which means that I can actually bring an upload schedule back, because, like, practicing MegaMari just pretty much overtook all the time I had to play A Link to the Past. So, pray for that. I still don't know what the upload schedule will be like, but I'm hoping that it can be pretty convenient. Other than that, I have my next Let's Play that I'm actually going to be doing alongside A Link to the Past planned, and I hope you guys will enjoy that as well. And of course, I'll be keeping up the Wi-Fi battles? Pokemon Showdown battles, and all of that. So, right. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you, next in English. Whoa, beat a video. Oh.